Welcome, yogis, to our first digital edition of Okaiyoga, coming from our Okaiyoga West studios in sunny, cloudy Toluca Lake, California. My name's Jim. I'll be leading the sequence today. It's about an hour sequence, one of our Hatha Rise sequences that we seem to enjoy in our Michigan pop-up studio every summer. Join me if you can. If you have a mat or a blanket, a soft surface is recommended. Maybe a blanket to sit up on as we start our practice, or if you have 2 blocks, those are always great to have handy. Join me if you can. Welcome. Let's start by finding a comfortable seat on the block. Our sits bones should be somewhere from the middle towards the front. Gently cross our legs. Roll our shoulders up and back. I like to say the hardest part of our practice is now over. We've made it to our mat. One of the hardest things, one of the best things we can do any day. Softly shut our eyes, just pause for a moment. We'll start slowly, softly. In this and every yoga class, our breath is more important than any pose. If you feel you're holding your breath, hyperventilating, back off. That's when we may get to work our ego and find child's pose or rest for a moment. And then pick up when we feel comfortable again. Let's cross our arms on our shoulders and gently roll our shoulders as if we're making a circle around our hips, awakening our spine, getting ready for our practice, getting ready for the day ahead of us. Nice and slow, shift the other direction. Place our hand on our thighs, take a deep inhale, exhale our chin towards or maybe even to our chest. Now draw our shoulder as if our chin as if we're pointing towards our right shoulder. Imagine we're drawing a line on the ceiling with our chin. As we look up, the back of the head goes back, chin towards the ceiling, chin towards the left shoulder, and back towards our chest. Let's do that a couple more times. First, turn our chin towards the shoulder, lift the ear, the top of the head up as the chin draws a line across the ceiling, down to our left shoulder, chin to the chest. 2 more times, nice and slow, awakening the top of our spine. Final time. When our chin comes to our chest, take a deep inhale here, feel the crown of the head float up, exhale, chin back towards the chest. Now point the chin towards the left shoulder. Imagine we're drawing that line with our chin across the ceiling, looking up, looking towards our right shoulder, chin towards or to our chest. 3 more times, nice and slow, gentle awakening. Snap, crackle, pop. May hear some sounds from our neck as it starts to adjust. When our chin gets to our chest, draw the chin parallel to the mat, roll our shoulders up and back. Our eyes can be shut, our eyes can be open. Let's all take a deep, deep inhale through our mouth. Exhale out the mouth. Next, deep inhale in through the nose. Open our mouth side out. Another deep inhale in through the nose. Pause. Open our mouth and sip in a bit more air. Hold. Open our mouth and side out. Deep, deep inhale in through the nose. Pause. Open our mouth, sip in a bit more air. Hold. This time, exhale out our nose. Deep inhale in through the nose. Deep exhale out the nose. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out. You may start to hear that sound of a whispering wind, that ujjayi, victorious breath. We use that to guide us through our practice. Let's interlace our hands behind our back. Draw the palms to touch, so you may need to bend your arms a lot or a little. Take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, start to straighten the knuckles away from our back. Maybe draw the pinky fingers up towards the ceiling. Nice stretch. Take a deep inhale here. On the exhale, let's let our right ear move towards our right shoulder, drawing the right shoulder down away from the ear. Feel the left side of our neck start to stretch a little bit. Inhale the crown of the head up. Exhale, left ear towards the left shoulder. Draw the left shoulder away. Feel the stretch on the right side of our neck. Release the hand, roll the shoulders up and back. Start the timer, know where we are. Our pranayama practice today will be skull shining breath. Let's take one hand in front of our navel, fake a sneeze, achoo! Notice our navel, our diaphragm closing as our belly moves towards our spine. We're going to take a deep, deep inhale and 30 forceful exhalations. The hand can remain in front of the navel or on our thighs. Roll the shoulders up and back. Take a deep, deep inhale and begin. And release, roll the shoulders up and back. Feel the crown of the head float up. Exhale our chin towards our chest, pausing. You can feel some warmth, some tingling across the crown of our head. Let's take a second round. Deep inhale. We'll be doing 30 forceful exhalations out the nose. So deep inhale. And begin. And relax. Roll our shoulders up and back. Softly close our eyes. Let our chin fall slightly towards our chest. And pause. Let's crawl, if we're on a block or blanket, move that out of the way towards the front of the mat. Crawl forward into tabletop. Wrist creases are directly below our shoulders. Knees are about hip distance apart, slightly behind our hips. We're on the balls of our feet or the toes are curled forward. I like to move my feet so I can't see them. We're going to take a couple cat-cows, but this time let's imagine we're creating the movement from our tailbone forward. So we're going to slowly rise the tailbone up, drop the belly down, then lift the shoulders. Our gaze is still on the ground, but about a foot in front of our fingertips. Now on the exhale, articulate or begin the pose from our hips. Start to curl the tailbone under, draw the navel towards the spine, puff up the back and cat pose. Our gaze starts to look past our wrists, towards our knees, up towards our thighs, pushing the ground away. Let's do that a couple more times. Start the movement from our tailbone. The tailbone rises, belly drops, heart waves forward, gazes at the ground in front of our fingertips, chest rises, pushing into the palms of our hands, start to articulate from the hips. Again, finding cat slowly, slowly. One more time. Tailbone rises, belly drops, heart waves forward, gaze is still at the ground in front of us. Take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, we're going to sink back into child's pose. Knees are separated, big toes touch, our heart melts down towards the ground. Fingertips extend out in front of us, maybe even tent our fingers coming up on the fingertips. Our chin is moving towards, pointing towards the ground or towards our hips. Couple deep inhales here. Let's inhale, finding cow pose, tailbone rises, belly drops, heart waves forward, up and back, downward facing dog on the exhale. Inhale forward, lowering the knees, finding cow pose. Exhale, sinking back, child's pose. One breath, one movement. Inhale, finding cow. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lower down, raise our heart forward, tailbone rises. Exhale, sinking back, child's pose. One more time. Inhale, wave our heart forward. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lower our knees. Finding cow, sinking back, child's pose. One more time. Take a couple deep breaths here. Maybe on the inhale, as the crown of the head floats up towards the sky, we separate our knees just a little bit wider, finding some more space in our hip creases as we melt our forehead towards the mat or to the mat in front of us. Meeting up in tabletop, let's all push up and back, downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, our hands are towards the front of the mat. Walking out our dog. Head hangs heavy. Finding stillness, let's push into our palms. Imagine our inner wrists are turning in, the biceps spiraling forward or out with a bend in the knees. Draw the sits bones up towards the sky. Then start to straighten the legs, pushing the ground away. Our head hangs heavy. We can gently nod our head yes. We can gently shake our head no. Pushing into the palms. Let's inhale. The right heel lifts up towards the sky. The toes are pointing down. The heel moving away from us. Inhale, reaching that leg up. Let's bend the knee, stacking the hips. Maybe we look for that right foot underneath our left armpit. Curling the foot one way and the other. Straightening that leg, push the heel away, point the toes down, then lower the ball of the foot to the mat. Pushing into the palms, bending the knees, straightening the legs, push into the palms again. Floating the left heel up towards the sky. Let's all bend that left leg, left knee. Stacking the hips. Moving the right leg towards straight without locking the knee, pushing into each hand equally. Look for that foot under our right armpit, circling the foot one way, maybe the other. Let's all straighten that left leg, push the heel away from us, push it up, point the toes towards the ground, then slowly lower the ball of the foot down, coming down to our knees, sinking back into child's pose. Pausing here for a couple deep breaths. Starting to feel the warmth that you're creating in your body. Slowly rise up to tabletop. Pushing up and back, downward facing dog. We'll continue our warm up. From downward facing dog, we're going to float our right heel up towards the sky. The right foot will come forward. The left knee will come down. The right foot forward, we'll slowly rise, take our right hand across our lumbar spine. On the inhale, we're going to open up our left hand wide. Exhale, twist, left hand on the outside of the right thigh. Every inhale, imagine the crown of our head floats up, and every exhale, our right shoulder opens up, just to where our edge is. We don't want to go too far here, we're not warmed up yet. Inhale, feel the crown of the head rise. Exhale, open up. 2 more deep breaths here. Every inhale, imagine that space we're creating. Every exhale, the twist. Final breath here. The next inhale, we'll unwind, cactus our arms. Imagine this light within us pointing up towards the sky. On the exhale, we're going to float our hands down, finding plank, top of a push-up, stepping our right foot back, push the ground away. Take our right knee towards or to our right elbow, exhale back. Inhale, right knee towards or to our left elbow. Exhale, back. Let's all take one push-up here. We're going to bend our elbows, drawing the elbows towards our rib cage, lower down all the way, pushing up and back, downward facing dog. We're going to float the left heel up towards the sky, left foot forward, right knee down, left foot forward, left hand across our lumbar spine. On the inhale, we'll open up our right hand, and on the exhale, we'll twist. The next inhale, create that space within our spine. Exhale, open up just to where our edge is, not beyond it. 2 more deep breaths here. Inhale, creating space. Exhale, opening. Inhale, space. Exhale, open. Inhale, cactus the arms. Exhale, reaching down, stepping back, plank. You guessed it, push the ground away. Left knee towards or to our left elbow. Left knee towards or to our right elbow. 1 push up here. We can come down to our knees. Skip it. Yogi's choice, up and back, downward facing dog. 1 more round, right heel up, right foot forward, left knee down, right foot forward, right hand across our back. Opening up the left arm, exhale, twist. 3 more deep breaths here. The next inhale, we'll cactus the arms. Finding plank. Round 2, guess what? 2 taps of the right knee towards or to the right elbow. 2 taps of the right knee towards or to the left elbow. 2 push-ups, push the ground away first, lower down slow, elbows towards our rib cage. Modification on our knees, up and back, downward facing dog. Float the left heel up, left foot forward, right knee down, left foot forward, left hand across our spine. Right hand opens up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach up, get tall. Exhale, open wider. 2 more deep breaths here. Next breath, cactus the arms. Exhale, float the hands down, stepping back. Left knee twice to our left elbow. Left knee twice towards or to our right elbow. 2 more push-ups. I like to start by pushing the ground away, lowering down, pushing up and back, downward facing dog. Coming down to our knees. Knees are separating, big toes touch, and our heart melts down to the ground for child's pose once again. Inhale forward through tabletop, pushing up and back, downward facing dog. Let's walk our hands to our feet. We can bend our knees a lot or a little, whatever we need to do right now. Point our feet towards the front of the mat. Let our head hang heavy. Standing forward fold with a little bit of bend or a lot of bend in our knees. Slowly rise, dragging the tops of our fingers with our fingertips across the tops of our feet, front of our ankles, front of our shins. Circle our hands up towards the sky. Reach our fingertips up, palms touch. Exhale our hands to heart center and release. We'll take mountain pose or Tadasana. First, let's pull all 10 toes up off the ground. Late arrival into class, no problem. You're all welcome, yogis. This is our coach for down dog and up dog. Lifting our 10 toes up, dropping down. Put a bend in the knees. Imagine our inner thighs are moving towards the back of our mat. Tuck our tailbone down, draw our navel towards our spine, draw our shoulders up and back. Start to straighten our legs, lifting the crown of our head up. Draw our ears back behind our shoulders slightly. Open those palms towards the front of the room. Imagine by pushing into the balls of our feet, we can get taller. Feeling the crown of the head lift up. The shoulders are still moving down and back. Super strong, super active, yet still pose. We'll take 3 sun salutations A's. If you have blocks, you're welcome to use blocks. If not, we can just use our mat. We're going to circle the hands up towards the sky. What I like to do here is bring the palms to touch, then before we pivot forward, take a deep inhale, open the palms to the sun in front of you. The thumbs are touching. Inhale, reach a little bit higher. Bend the knees, pivot the hips, standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, reach down to blocks or your mat, to plank, top of a push-up. Inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, lower down very slow. The elbows are moving in towards the rib cage. Before we take Cobra, let's lift our right foot up and draw the right toe back behind us. Then place the top of the right foot down. Let's lift the left foot up, draw the left toe back behind us, then place the left foot down. Push into the tops of our feet a lot. Notice our knees come up off the ground. Imagine, if we could, we're inter-rotating our thighs towards the sky. Draw our elbows back towards our spine. Our gaze is looking down, not forward. We want to maintain this nice, smooth, long extension in the back of our neck. Put a little bit of weight into the palms. Baby Cobra, the forehead lifts up 5 or 6 inches. Exhale down, lower the forehead towards or to the mat. Maybe we lift the palms up off the ground. Draw the crown of our head away from our hips, the bottoms of the feet, where the tops of our feet are still pushing into the mat, the knees are lifted. We lift our nose up 5 or 6 inches. Still Baby Cobra. Place our hands down, tuck our toes. Let's all push up and back. Downward facing dog. I like to take a half step forward. Bend the knees. Draw the sits bones up towards the sky. Push into the hands. Rotate the biceps forward. Straighten the legs with the hips still high. Put a bend in the knees. Start to draw my shoulders forward over my wrist crease. Bend the knees even more. Push into the palms and the balls of the feet equally. Hop, float, or walk forward. Standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, lower down slow. Inhale, circling the hands up towards the sky. Hips move forward slightly, fingers reach up. Inhale, open the palms, thumbs are still touching. Inhale, reach higher. Bend at the knees, pivot at the hips, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Reach down to blocks or to the mat, stepping back to plank, top of a push-up. Push the ground away, lower down slow. Point the toes behind us, knees come off the ground. Baby Cobra, elbows moving towards our spine. Chin is still relaxed and down. Tucking the toes up and back. Downward facing dog. Half step forward. Finding your down dog. Draw the shoulders forward. Bend in the knees. Shoulders forward, palms are pushing down. Float, hop, or step forward. Halfway rise. Shoulders move away from the ears. Exhale, standing forward, fold. Inhale, slowly rise. Tadasana. Exhale, our hands to our heart center. And release. Would you like to take one more? Sun Salutation A. Circling the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, the palms are open, thumbs are touching. Inhale, reach even higher because you can. Bend at the knees, pivot at the hips, standing forward, fold slowly. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, reaching down to blocks or to the mat, stepping back to plank. Push the ground away, lower down slow. Find your Cobra, elbows still moving towards the spine, the chin is still relaxed, tuck the toes up and back, downward facing dog. Pausing here for a couple breaths, adjusting our dog, pushing the ground away, rotating the wrists in, the biceps spiral out, sits bones up towards the sky, legs are moving towards straight, but the knees can still be bent. No stress in the back of our neck. Breathing deeply in through the nose, out of the nose. Put a generous bend in our knees, draw our shoulders above our wrist crease, bend even deeper. Hop, step, or float forward, standing forward, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway rise, crown of our head moving away from our hips. Exhale, standing forward, fold, and circling the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, our hands to our heart center and release. Roll our shoulders up and back. Shake out our legs, shake out our wrists. How you doing, yogis? Glad you're here today. Moving forward, this is handy. We're going to do an open twist. It's handy to have a block, but if you don't have a block, it doesn't really matter. Inhale, circling the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, the thumbs are touching, palms come apart. Inhale, reach even higher. Pivot at the hips, standing forward fold. Halfway rise. Reaching down for our blocks or the ground. Stepping back to plank, lower down slow. Maybe a deeper cobra this time. Our gaze is still down, our chin is still relaxed, elbows moving towards our spine. Tucking our toes, push up and back, downward facing dog. We're going to float our right heel up towards the sky. Right foot comes forward. Maybe to adjust the back foot as well. That's okay. High lunge. We're going to put our right hand flat on the ground, up on fingertips, up on a block. We're going to push the right hand into the ground. Float the left hand up towards the sky. Draw the right hip back in space. Lift the back hamstring up. Don't let this leg just relax. It's engaged in active 2. Maybe turn our gaze up towards our top hand. Can we get our top hand above our bottom hand? Take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, float the left hand down, shifting the weight into the left hand. Draw the right fingertips up towards the sky. Reach even higher. The back of the hand moves behind us. Draw the right hip back in space. Lift the left hamstring up. The left heel moves away. Still active. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, both hands down to blocks or to the ground. Walking ourselves up into a high lunge. Draw the back foot in a little bit. Bend the knee, tuck the tailbone, re-straighten that back leg. Hands on hips, start to bend and straighten the front knee. The knee is pointing towards the toes, pointing towards the front of our mat. Let's not let our knee come in front of the front ankle. If it is, just scooch the front foot forward or back foot back. After 3 or 4 bends of that front leg, you're welcome to pause, to stop, to rest. If you'd like a little bit more, maybe we lower the back knee towards or to the ground behind us. Pausing, cactus the arms, reaching down, stepping back, downward facing dog. Let's keep the heat up, float the left heel up, left foot forward, shifting the weight into the left hand. Draw the left hip back in space. We can be up on fingertips, flat on the mat or on a block. The weight's in the left hand, the right fingertips float up, away from the ear, behind us, back heel moving towards the back of the mat. Right hamstring lifting up, creating space for those fingers to get taller. Feel the weight come up off that front thigh. Lower the right hand down, lift the left fingertips up, draw the left hip back in space. Feel that right hamstring lift up. Kiss your dog. Thank you, puppy. Reach the fingertips up. Slowly lower the left hand. Walk both hands to the front thigh. Bring the back foot in a few inches. Bend that right leg. Curl your sits bones down. Re-straighten that back leg. Bend, straighten the front leg. Just 3 or 4 times. Take a deep inhale here. Welcome to pause here. Or lower and raise the back knee if you'd like a little bit more. So I'll find stillness here, energy moving out that back heel, left hip moving back in space, cactus the arms. Float the hands down, stepping back to plank, top of a push-up, lower down slow, scraping our rib cage with our elbows. Point the toes towards the back of your mat. Up dog or cobra, yogi's choice. Up and back, downward facing dog. Turning our gaze towards our thumbs, put a generous bend in the knee. Draw the shoulders above the wrist crease. Bend the knees a little more. Let's all push into the balls of our feet. Each palm with the same amount of force. Maybe our hips float up, feet float forward. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, lower down slow. Inhale, wave your heart forward. Reach your hands up towards the sky. Exhale your hands to your heart center. And release. Roll our shoulders up and back. Don't think we'll need the blocks for the next move. We'll do another sun salutation A with a detour. Pausing for a moment in Tadasana. Hands come to our heart center. Roll our shoulders up and back. Can you feel your heart beating a little bit stronger than when we started? It's the energy that you've created through connecting breath to movement, simple movements. Focus on our breath, into the nose, out through the nose. Inhale, circling both hands up towards the sky. Exhale, the palms open forward. Thumbs are still touching. Inhale, reach even higher. Standing forward, fold. Halfway rise. Reaching down, stepping back, plank. Lower down, slow. Up dog or cobra. Up and back, downward facing dog. Let's float our right foot up towards the sky. The right foot comes forward. Spin the left foot out 45 degrees. Slowly rise into warrior one. Let's all look back at our back foot. Feel the pinky toe edge of that foot connecting to the mat. Scoot your front foot forward so the knee isn't coming forward to the ankle. The hips can be open up a little bit towards the side or to the front, whatever is accessible to you. Reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Draw the shoulders away from our ears, the shoulder blades towards each other. Then there might be more space to reach the fingertips even higher. Activate the hands. Fingers are spread wide, middle finger reaching up or maybe even forward from the palm. Bend and straighten the front knee. Finding stillness. Take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, maybe we step back into warrior two. In warrior two, again, look back at that back foot. Pinky toe edge of the foot is gripping, holding on to the mat. Front knee is not in front of the front ankle. The front knee is pointing towards the front toes. It's not spiraling out or in. Palms reach them away from our chest. Thumbs towards our sternum. Fingertips reach away from each other. Flip our back hand up. Roll our shoulders up and back. Imagine our fingertips are as far as they've ever been from each other. We can bend and straighten that front leg if it feels good. Turning our gaze towards that middle front finger. Can we imagine our shoulders are directly above our hips? So we're not forward, we're not back, we're right above our hips. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, reverse our warrior. The back hand can go down our back thigh or across our lumbar spine, opening the shoulders. Reaching the top hand up, then back. Imagine we're drawing both heels towards each other. Do you feel that? Activating the legs, activating the glutes. Take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, we'll cartwheel both hands down to the ground, coming on the ball of the back foot, stepping back to plank, top of our push-up, lowering down to cobra. Point the toes away from us, elbows towards our rib cage, lifting our heart, our gaze is down, tucking our toes up and back. Downward facing dog. Now we'll float the left heel up. I'm going to turn around so my back isn't to you. Left heel up. Left foot forward. We'll slowly rise into warrior one. Back foot's out 45 degrees. The hips are open to the right a little bit or maybe squared towards the front. Palms reach up. Shoulders are pointing towards the front even if our hips are open a bit towards the side. Nice twist in our spine here. Start to bend and straighten the front leg. Don't let the front knee come forward of our front ankle. Feel the pinky toe edge of that back foot, creating a foundation, strength in the pose. Pausing here, take a deep inhale. The exhale, maybe we open up into warrior two. Look at the back foot, feel the pinky toe edge gripping your mat. Shoulders first come forward, hands come forward, bring the thumbs to our sternum, extend the hands away from each other, flip the back palm up, roll the shoulders up and back, extend the fingertips from each other, turn our gaze towards that front finger, bend and straighten the front leg, still gripping that back foot, still attempting to drag both heels towards each other. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, relax. Inhale, reach the top hand up and then back. Finding your expression of reverse warrior. Take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, we'll cartwheel the hands down, stepping back to plank, top of a push-up, lowering down, finding Cobra. Up and back, downward facing dog. Coming down to our knees, finding child's pose. Notice your heart rate, notice your breath. Notice your temperature. Do you feel warmer now than when you started your practice? Coming up through downward facing dog. Walking our feet towards our hands, slowly rise, vertebrae by vertebrae, drawing our hands up towards our knees, lowering down, standing forward fold. Inhale, circling the hands up towards the sky. Let's exhale our hands to our heart center and release. Moving on. Inhale, both hands up towards the sky. Thumbs are touching, palms open, reach even higher. Standing forward fold, halfway rise. Reach for the ground, stepping back, plank. Lower down slow. Up dog or cobra. Up and back, downward facing dog. Let's float the right heel up, right foot forward. Slowly rise, crescent run, lunge. Bring our hands to our heart center. Step forward, circle the hands up, sinking back into chair pose. Looking down at our knees, can we see our toes by drawing our hips back? Can we reach all 10 toes off the mat and softly place them down? Bring our hands to heart center. So I'll take a deep inhale here, pushing our thumbs into our sternum. And on the exhale, rotate to the right. Welcome to stay here. If we sink a little bit deeper, it's actually easier. Now push the palms together. Activate the lower tricep. Feel our belly. It's still touching the front thigh, but it just got lighter. Maybe turn our gaze towards our thumbs. Could we draw that top elbow so it's directly above the lower elbow? Push into the bottom tricep. And just breathe. Draw the shoulders away from our ears. Welcome to stay here. If you'd like a little bit more, turn our gaze towards our right foot. Step, walk, or float the left foot back. Finding twisted crescent lunge. Activate that bottom tricep, lift the top elbow up, push into the hands, feel the belly get lighter on that front thigh. Draw the right glute back in space. Oh yeah, I feel that. Activate the back hamstring, back heel. There's a lot of work going on in the subtle pose. Turn our gaze back to our right foot. Step, walk, or float the left foot forward, slowly unwind. Standing forward fold, nod our head yes. Gently shake our ears side to side, no. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, lower down slow. Circle the hands up towards the sky. And exhale our hands to our heart center. Release. You might feel that on your right glute, your right hamstring. So we better do it offer it to the left. If you're up for it, circle the hands up towards the sky. Open the palms, reach even higher, standing forward fold. Halfway rise, reach for the ground, stepping back, plank. Lowering down, up dog or cobra, downward dog. Left foot rises, left foot forward. Slowly rise, crescent lunge. Bring our hands to our heart center. Step the back foot forward. Reach feet hip distance apart. Reach both hands up. Sink deeper into chair pose. Lift all 10 toes, then place them down. Draw the hips back in space. Bring the hands to our heart center. Those thumbs are something nice for our sternum to rest on. You're welcome to stay here. You're welcome to take standing forward fold. If you'd like a little bit more, take a deep inhale. We exhale on the twist towards the left thigh. Left tricep on top of the left thigh. Palms are pushing into each other, floating the left elbow up above the right. Activate the bottom tricep. Look at both our knees. If the right knee is jutting out, draw that right hip back in space. Reactivate that bottom tricep. Push the palms together. Move the shoulders away from the ears. Create that space, that openness, even in a twist. You're welcome to rest here. If you'd like a little bit more, turn your gaze down towards your right foot. Shift the weight into the right foot. The left foot comes up on the ball of the foot. Maybe it steps, maybe it reaches, maybe it floats back to twisted crescent lunge. Activate that lower tricep. Draw the top tricep above the lower. Push the palms into each other. Draw the left hip back in space. Move the right ankle away from you. Lift the back hamstring up. Oh, and breathe. Slowly unwind, shifting our weight back into that right foot, or left foot, sorry. The right foot gets very light, floats forward. Gently unwind, let our head hang heavy. Nod our head yes, taking out any pressure in the back of our neck. Gently shake our ears side to side, no. So I'll take a deep, deep inhale in through the nose. Open our mouth and sigh it out. Deep inhale in through the nose. Open our mouth and sigh it out. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, lower down slow. Inhale, circling the hands up towards the sky. And exhale our hands to our heart center. Shake out your right leg, shake out your left leg. Now are both glutes evenly taxed, evenly worked, hopefully. So now we're going to relax those hips. We're going to move into a much more relaxing pose that we can still activate. So let's circle both hands up towards the sky. Directly bring the palms to heart center. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, pivot forward. Halfway rise, reaching down, stepping back, plank, push the ground away. Lower down slow. Up dog or cobra, yogi's choice. Up and back, downward facing dog. Let's all float with the right heel up towards the sky. Right knee towards the right wrist or right thumb tip. Make our way into half pigeon prep. Adho Mukha Ekapada Rasa Kapotasana. Look over our right shoulders and can you see your left foot? Oh, what a nice twist. You might get a snap, crackle, pop there. Push into your fingertips. Activate that space between each vertebrae. Look forward. Now imagine, without even looking at your back heel, can you point the back heel towards the ceiling? It has a tendency, mine falls out, some people's fall in, but let's point that heel towards the ceiling. Maybe we can draw the left toes even a little bit further away. If your front leg is bent like mine, point the toes towards the back of the mat. If your front foot is parallel to the front of the mat, flex the foot, point the toes towards your knee. Not in my practice today. Someday, maybe. Maybe not. Coming up on your fingertips, it may feel great. If you have a block, or you can get a block for the next time you take this practice, put that block underneath your right glute. It's very supportive. Walk the hands forward, melting over our chest, over our front thigh. Relaxing the back of the neck. We can use our hands as a pillow. We can make two fists. For some of us, maybe our forehead melts all the way down to the ground. If there's any pressure at all on our knees, activate those thighs by squeezing, as if we're squeezing them together or moving the knees towards each other. Should take the pressure off of our knees. If it's too much, we're welcome to take child's pose. This is a big, deep hip opener. You've done a lot of work, a lot of standing work. Now is the time to help these big muscles, our thighs, our hamstrings relax. Exactly, Koa. Now is the time to open up the hips. But we're not just laying here unactivated. Imagine again, those back toes are reaching away. The right hip is moving back in space. The forehead's melting towards the ground. When possible, I like to stay here at least a minute. If you're doing this pose at home, you could just get into this pose and sink into it for 4 or 5 minutes, and you'll be amazed at how much more open, as your mind relaxes, your body opens. The blood circulates through the muscles. Slowly, slowly walk our hands towards our hips. If we use the block under the right hip, move it out of the way. Tuck our back toes, making our way to three-legged dog. You may feel it now, the back of the hamstring, the back of the glute. Push the ground away, lift that heel up. The toes are pointing towards the ground. You can come down to child's pose, or if you have wild thing in your practice, now is a natural time to take it. We spin the left foot down. The left foot is flat. We're not on the edge of the left foot. The right foot comes down onto the ball of the foot. The hips reach up. The shoulder, left shoulder comes above the left wrist crease. We're pushing into the flat left foot, the ball of the right foot, creating space, reaching high. Up first, then back, letting the head hang heavy. Lifting the hips up. Take a deep inhale here. And on an exhale, come back onto the ball of the foot. Again, finding three-legged dog, maybe a little more extension. Bringing the right foot down. Floating the left heel up in space. Push into the ball of the right foot. Bring the left knee forward towards or to the left thumb tip. The right foot draws back. The top of the right foot crawls back. Look over our left shoulder, come up on our fingertips. Can you see that back foot? What a nice stretch. You've created all this length and openness in your spine today. Turn our gaze forward without looking at the back foot. Adjust the heel so it's directly pointing towards the sky, reaching back, opening the hips. If you have a block or a blanket and can place it underneath our left glute, it may feel really good. Walking the hands forward, melting the heart towards the ground. Chest comes on the front thigh. If your knees are feeling any bit of pressure, activate both thighs. Draw the left hip back in space. The right psoas moves down slightly. There's no pressure in the back of our neck. The back of the head floats up on the inhale. On the exhale, we melt down, folding. Maybe our forehead is on a block. Maybe it's on two fists. Maybe it's on our flattened hands. Maybe it reaches away and down all the way to the mat. Draw the left hip back in space. And just breathe. Relax. We'll be here for 1 minute. How often do we pause, stop for 1 minute in our day? Tuck our back toes, start to walk our hands towards our center line. Remove that block or blanket if you were using it. Push into our palms, tuck the back toes, float into three-legged dog. If you did it on the other side and would like to take wild thing, the left foot reaches behind us, land on the ball of the left foot. The right foot is flat. We're pushing into the hole of that right foot. The right arm, the right shoulder's above the right arm, the hips are lifting up. First the hand reaches up and then reaches beyond us as we start to look towards his fingertips. Reach those hips up towards the sky. Take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, unwind back to your three-legged dog. Lowering that foot down, coming down to our knees, sinking into child's pose. probably feel your hips now, your glutes now. You can give them a little bit of a break. We could provide a little bit of challenge and openness for our shoulders while our hips relax. So from here, let's interlace all of our fingers. Take the bottom pinky finger, tuck it in between our palms. Place those the side of our hands onto the mat in front of us. Draw our hips up. Place our head, where am I going here? Tuck our toes up and back as if we're in downward facing dog, but we're really in dolphin here. Maybe we can walk our feet a little bit closer to our elbows. Legs are extended, but they're not locked. Again, imagine the inner thighs moving up towards the ceiling. We're pushing into the balls of our feet. Push into the forearms a lot so you notice your shoulders lift. So we're not sinking down here. We're pushing into the forearms. Inhale the chin towards or to our thumb and exhale back for dolphin push-ups. Adjust your feet as needed. Hips are as high as they possibly can be. Inhale forward, exhale back. We're not doing this from plank. We're doing it from down dog. As you start to gain openness in your shoulders, or some of us were just born with it, maybe we inhale the chin in front of our knuckles and exhale back. Again, the distance doesn't matter. The direction is what's important in our yoga practice. If this is a lot or your first time, modification as we come down on our knees, still activate those forearms. Push our chin towards our thumbs. Exhale so the crown of the head points down. We're still pushing into those forearms and moving forward. When you're done, you're done. Let's all sit on our heels, knees facing towards the front of the mat. First thing I like to do is reach and pull the fleshy part of the knee up and forward, creating more space for our shins to get closer to the mat below them. Roll our shoulders up and back, draw our shoulders back so they're directly above our hips. Place our hands in a fancy mudra on our lap. This may be a lot, this may be enough for you. If you'd like a little bit more, you're welcome. Maybe we lift up one thigh, lift up the other. Maybe we lift up both thighs. Again, every pose is a progression. There's a beginning, middle. Is there an end? I don't know. But certain people's composition of their body, certain people's openness will allow the certain poses to be accessible while others aren't. Dropping our knees down, walking our hands in front of the knees, tucking all 10 toes, making sure the pinky toe is pointing the right direction. Imagine there's energy. We're moving our heels towards each other. Roll our shoulders up and back. Really big opener on our toes. Let's flex all 5 of our right toes and release. Flex all 5 of our left toes and release. Flex all 10 toes and release. If you're feeling playful and would like a little bit more, we can use our hands to spot us. Maybe we lift up one knee, maybe the other. Over time, as you get open and comfortable and play with your balance, maybe we use our hands like the tightrope walker's balance pole. Draw both knees up by shifting our weight back. Our shoulders are still directly above our hips. Make it more challenging. Maybe we bring our hands to heart center, pushing our sternum into our thumbs, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. The surefire way to lose our balance, to lose our equanimity in life, is to hold our breath. When we get angry or challenged, we often hold our breath. So through yoga, we practice the art of remaining calm or having equanimity in our breath through challenging situations, which could be a pose, could be the jerk cutting you off in traffic. Slowly lower down, walking our hands in front of us, tapping our feet out. Great job, yogis. If you had headstand in your practice, your body would be at a nice warm spot to take it. Headstand isn't for everybody, but headstand prep is. So for headstand prep, similar to the pose, dolphin pose, we're going to interlace all 10 fingers, tuck the bottom pinky fingers down. We're going to make that nice V. This time we are going to place the crown of our head on the ground in between the V. We're going to activate the shoulders by pushing into the forearms. Notice the difference between here and here. Activate the shoulders, release. Activate the shoulders. Tuck our toes, finding a modification of downward facing dog. We walk our feet in so our hips get closer to our shoulders. Push more into your forearms so you feel the weight come off the crown of your head. And maybe you float the right heel up in space. The toes are pointing down, the heel's moving away and up, and then it comes down. The left heel moves away and up, toes are pointing down, then it comes down. This is the prep. If you've never done this before, this can be where you stop. We're teaching our body, we're teaching our brain that it's okay to have our head lower than our heart. It's okay to be upside down. We get all the benefits in this headstand prep as we do from a full headstand. If headstand is in your practice, either against the wall or in the center of the room, maybe you bend one knee, bring it up, bend the other knee. It's easier to start with the legs closer towards the body, compact center of gravity. We're pushing to the forearms a lot. The weight's not in my head or my neck, it's in my forearms. Toes are reaching up, and rotate the thighs. Reach those toes towards the sky. Legs are active, glutes are active. Continuing to breathe. If we hold our breath here, we're sure to fall. There's options here. Just walking the legs, straddling the legs, making a fancy diamond, all the while breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, pushing the bottoms of the feet together for stability, upside down. Feet come up. More advanced pose, if you've been doing this for a while, is to pike. Your hips move back over your shoulders, feet come down, slowly legs come up, hips move. Pushing into the ground a lot, reach the toes up, slowly lower down to the balls of the feet. Draw the knees down, finding child's pose. Separate the knees a lot, big toes touch, heart melts down. Maybe it feels good on the deltoids now to tent the fingertips. Walking our hands back towards our hips, bring our knees together to release the neck, release the shoulders. We'll take rabbit pose. In rabbit pose, we're going to reach back, find our heels, place the top of our forehead onto the mat. It's a very subtle move. We just lift our hips up and sink the hips back. Lift the hips up, sink the hips back. 3 or 4 times. We're not on the top of the head, we're on the forehead, the top of the forehead. This is just a nice release for the cervical spine, the muscles around the neck. Great job, yogis. Walk our hands out in front of us. Make our way to downward facing dog. Walk our feet to our hands. Standing forward fold. Place the hands back down, stepping back to plank, dropping our knees down, finding child's pose. Bring the knees together, walk the hands again back down by our heels. You feel this nice stretch or opening across the upper back. Since we're here, let's place our hands in front of us, step our feet out. Making our way onto our seat, slowly lower right down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Finding bridge pose. We'll walk our feet back towards our fingertips. We should be able to graze the heels, push into the feet, interlace the hands, tuck the bottom pinky finger in, walk the shoulders down, push into the heels a lot so the hips float up. Imagine now you're dragging the heels towards your glutes, towards your knuckles. Gently push into the back of your head so your chin floats up and relaxes. Push into your triceps, your deltoids, your heels. Release the hands. Widen the shoulders. Roll down from the top of the back, so the upper back, middle back, lower back, then the glutes hit. Then let the knees fall into each other. Take your thumbs, put them on your hip points. Gently roll up and down. Separate the feet. Push the hands down, push the feet down. Take a second bridge. Push into the feet a lot. Drag the heels towards your knuckles. Push into the triceps. Gently push the back of your head. If it's in your practice, you're welcome to float one foot up to the sky. To make it more accessible, take your bottom foot, your foundation foot in line with your navel. Push into that foot a lot. The right foot will float up. Toes can either reach up, foot can be flexed, reach that heel away. If you interrotate that lifted leg thigh, the knee may get closer towards your face. Reactivate the bottom foot. Float the top foot down. Step the left foot aside, bring the right foot in line with your navel. Push into that foot a lot, float the hips up. The left foot comes up, pointed, flexed. Interrotate the thigh, push down, lift up, draw the knee towards your face, slowly lower down. When the feet are flat, release the hands, lower down from the top to the middle, to the bottom or back. If you have wheel in your practice, this is a good spot to take a wheel pose. Float both feet up towards the sky. Place our hands behind our hamstrings and slowly rock and roll forward and back. Finding ourselves in boat pose, Navasana. Feet can be down on the mat if this is your first boat pose. Hands can be down by your hips, creating space in your spine. Maybe we place our hands behind the hamstrings with the knees bent, lift one foot, lift the other. Most important alignment cue here is to lift our chest, our heart up, balancing on our sits bones, lifting the sternum up. We don't want to be sinking down here. We want to be lifted up. For some of us, it's easier with straighter legs. Again, it's easier to hold on to the air if we interrotate the thighs, reach the heels away. Maybe the hands reach up, up, chest is still lifted, fingertips up. Maybe we make peace fingers, yogi toe lock, reach one foot up, the other foot up, both feet up. Falling is great. In yoga, I like to say, we're not learning how to balance, we're learning how to fall with grace and a smile on our face and laughter. We know we're going to fail and have challenges in life. Can we get through those challenges healthier, easier, faster if we smile and laugh and say that's to be expected? Let's move on. Bringing the bottoms of the feet to touch, Baddha Konasana. Draw the heels a little bit towards your midline. Gently flutter the knees up and down. Pushing into the sits bones. Notice when we do that, we create space in our spine. The crown of the head floats up naturally. Letting our knees come find stillness. Pushing down in the sits bones. Letting the knees drop open even further. I'm going to turn to you, but if you're facing the front of your mat, that's fine. Let's step our feet out 45 degrees and find Monosomy, Yogi squat, and Yogi squat. We'd like to have our feet flat on the ground. If that's not possible for you, you're welcome to sit on a block. No problem at all. The direction is more important than the distance. Again, I've been doing this for a few years. My feet are now flat. I'm pushing into the feet. I'm pushing my palms together. I'm placing my triceps on my inner thighs. The thighs are pushing into the triceps. They're active. I'm pushing my triceps into my thighs. I'm lifting my sternum. I'm pushing down. I'm pushing into my hands. To truly activate the pose, we just lift our hips up, our glutes up, 1/8 of an inch. Oh, there it is. And release. If that's a lot and you'd like a more gentle stretch, flying frog, placing our fingertips spread wide, pointing towards the front of the mat, come up on the balls of the feet now. Letting our triceps just help to open our hips, drawing our shoulders away from the ears, the gaze is down. This may be enough. If you have Bakasana in your practice, you're welcome to take it here. Bakasana, crow pose. Hands are spread wide. Come up onto the balls of the feet. Push the ground away. Activate the arms. Lift up one foot. Maybe we lift up the other foot. Our gaze is down, the crown of the head moving away from our shoulders. Maybe the big toes touch. We're still pushing down, reaching our hips away from our shoulders, creating space, lowering our hips down, bringing our palms to touch in Monosomy Yogi squat. Take a deep inhale, and the exhale, push into each foot equally, reaching the hands up towards the sky, slowly, fingertips touch. Exhale our hands to heart center and release. Inhale, reaching those hands up, palms touch. Exhale, sink down, Vipassana. 2 more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale our hands to heart center for a standing balancing pose. Today we can take tree pose. Tree pose, we're going to start with our right foot. Dig a hole for the tree with your right foot. Shift your weight onto the right foot. You can start off on the ball of the left foot. There's many variations in tree pose. You can have your left ball of the foot on the ground, the right heel above the ankle. The foot can move up to the side of the shin. We don't push into our knee or joints ever. So if we want a little bit more, we can push the flat part of the left foot into the inner right thigh. Push the ground away, super strong standing leg, yet the knee isn't locked. Imagine the left knee is moving away from the right shoulder. With a tiny bend in the knee, we can draw our hips, our pubis down, hollowing out our belly. We draw our navel towards the spine. We're still breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. For stability, as we push down, if we place our thumbs on our sternum, find a drishti, a spot on the floor to focus on, makes it easier. If we look at other wobbly yogis while we're doing this, we have a tendency to fall. Thumbs into the sternum, find that drishti, super strong standing pose, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Maybe we extend our hands out in front of us like a fancy dancer. If we did that, draw the shoulders back and down. Reach the fingertips up to grow our tree. Draw that left knee away from the right shoulder. If we want to play with our balance further, maybe we look up. If this is nothing for you and your balance, maybe you shut your eyes for a second. Bring our palms to touch, sternum back. Our thumbs to the sternum, lift the left knee up, extend the left foot away from you, bring the left foot down. Before we lower the foot, lift it up, bring it down, shake out the right foot, shake out the left foot. Find a firm grounding, dig a hole for the opposite tree. Shift the weight into the left foot, come up on the ball of the right foot. This can be where you stop today. You're welcome to have the heel above the ankle, the bottom of the foot pushing into the shin, the whole foot pushing into the thigh, or even half lotus tree, if that's in your practice. The subtle bend in the knee, draw the tailbone down, navel towards the spine, crown of the head lifts up, shoulder and right knee move away from each other, palms come to touch into our sternum to provide extra balance, pushing the ground away. Maybe we reach the fingertips out, draw the shoulders back, grow our tree. Right knee moves away from left shoulder, fingertips reach up. Keep that focus on your drishti on the point on the ground. Activate those hands, those twigs on the branches. Reach up even higher, draw the ears away from the shoulders. Beautiful, bring the palms to touch. Thumbs to sternum, lift up the right knee. The right heel moves away from us, the right foot comes down. Lift up the right knee, then lower it down. Shake the knees, open the hips. Great job, yogis. Circle both hands up towards the sky. Exhale our hands to our heart. One more standing balance pose. Circle both hands up towards the sky. Lift all 10 toes. Feel a firm foundation. Feet are about hip distance apart. Lower the toes one by one. Reach the fingertips up. Turn our gaze and find that nice almond-shaped space between our thumbs. Reach the fingertips even higher. Pushing down through the ground, get so tall, shut our eyes, but imagine that almond-shaped space in our mind's eye. just for 30 seconds today. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, push the feet into the ground, reach the fingertips up. Imagine that almond-shaped space you saw between each of your thumbs. Maybe your biceps move closer to your ears. Our legs aren't locked. There's subtleness there. The drishti, or point of focus now, is that almond shape that we can still see, that we can still imagine. We know it's going to be there when we open our eyes. Subtly blink our eyes open, lower our hands to our hearts, release our hands, roll our shoulders up and back. Carefully come down to our back. Extend our feet out in front of us. Move any dogs out of the way. Great down dog. Thank you, tough dog. Slowly lower down vertebrae by vertebrae onto our backs. Place our right foot flat onto the mat. Lift up our hips and scoot them over to the right. Draw the right knee towards our chest, give it a hug. Then let the right knee fall over the left side of our body. Our arms are out like airplane wings or cactus. You may want that right knee to get all the way to the ground, so roll on your side and do that if that's what you really want to do. But now come back into our right shoulder is flat on the ground, so both shoulders are on the ground. Draw the knee a little bit closer towards our face. Place our left hand on the outside edge of the right knee, or on the thigh, or on the hip. We're not pulling the thigh down, just the subtle weight of your hand will further open the hip joints. Turn our gaze towards our right fingertips. Our eyes can be open, our eyes can be shut, and breathe. 3 deep breaths here, in through the nose, out of the nose. Slowly unwind, extend or push the right foot flat on the floor, straighten our hips with our shoulders, bend the left foot, extend the right leg long, push into the left foot, lift the hips up, scoot them over towards the left side, draw the left knee in towards your chest, let the left knee come down. If you want to go all the way to the ground, that's fine, but then let's all roll back. So both shoulders are flat on the ground. Draw the left knee closer towards your face, let it sink. The left foot could be rested on the left or right thigh or left shin. Take our right hand, gently place it in the middle of the left thigh. Turn our gaze towards our left fingertips and breathe. 2 more deep breaths here. Take the right hand off the left thigh, slowly roll the glutes back down to the mat. When the left foot is flat, push into it. Square our hips with our shoulders, draw both knees into our chest, Oppanasana. Draw your knees up towards your nose, get as small, compact as possible. Take a deep, deep inhale in through the nose. Let's all open mouth and sigh it out. Laying down on our back, wiggle our hips side to side, rock and roll our heels side to side. Draw our shoulder blades slightly underneath our back so our heart lifts a little bit higher. Open our palms up towards the ceiling. Bring our hands down near our hips, about 6 inches away from our glutes, our hips. Palms open towards the ceiling. Take another deep inhale in through the nose. Open our mouth, sigh it out. Let's softly close our lips. Take the tip of our tongue and push it to the roof of our mouth right behind our top 2 teeth. Then let the tongue relax. Wiggle our nose, release the tongue. Without opening our eyes, flutter our eyelids. Furrow and unfurrow our brow. put the tiny bit of pressure on the back of our head so our chin just moves away from our chest. Notice the parts of our bodies connected to the ground below us, to the earth. We've done all the work. This is where we get the benefit of our practice. As we release, as we let go, as we relax into Shavasana. We'll be here for 2 minutes and then I will walk you out. Relax and enjoy this time. Slowly, slowly start to deepen your breath. Let's bring some movement into our fingers, into our toes. Gently roll our wrists and ankles. Let's inhale both hands onto the ground beyond our head, pointing our toes, moving our fingertips away, feeling as tall as you've ever felt before. Placing the bottoms of our feet flat on the mat underneath our knees. If you're taking this practice in the morning, let's roll over onto our right side using our right bicep as a pillow. If you're taking this practice in the afternoon or evening, let's roll over onto our left side using our left bicep as a pillow. Knees are bent, fetal position. Breathing calmly. Place our top hand flat onto the ground in front of our belly. With our eyes softly closed, tuck our chin towards our chest and start to push up, making ourselves into a comfortable seat facing the front of your mat. Eyes are shut, body calm. I like to reach down, pull the fleshy part of my glutes away from my sits bones so I feel that connection to the mat, to the earth below me. Inhale up with pride, feel the crown of our head float up towards the sky, using that space you created in your spine through your practice today. Exhale humbly, bow our chin. Our internal gaze looks down towards our heart. As we take a couple breaths here, imagine that light burning brightly within us. Light is energy, heat is energy, heat is light. Imagine this light that you've created through your practice. Endeavor to use this light to be kind, generous, and forgiving with yourself so that we can practice being kind, generous, and forgiving to our family and friends. And as we continue this practice of sharing this light, that we can be kind, generous, and forgiving to complete strangers in the world around us. Let's bring our thumbs to our third eye, between the space between our eyebrows. Lift our chin away from the earth. Imagine this light, this warmth. Take a deep inhale, bring our hands to our heart center. We'll seal our practice. Exhale here. We'll seal our practice with one Om. Inhale for Om. Release our hands, float our eyes up, blink our eyes open. Namaste, yogis. Thank you so much for being with me through this practice. If you have any questions, any answers, feel free to send me a message. There's something you'd like to see in a practice that we can share and do together from our homes, just let me know. I'm happy to help you out. All the best. Namaste, yogis. We'll see you next time at Okaiyoga.